What's going on, everybody? It's Davey from the 80s, and you are now entering the cinema chop shop. So park your ass right there. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the like, the share, the subscribe button. Also, if you check the link below, you see a Patreon account. If you click it, you can become a member. All you got to do is try to recommend movies and music and trailers for me to react to. So click the link. Now, with that being said, we're here today with a little bit of movie news. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about it. So the director and the writer of 28 Days Later finally announced the sequel to the long-awaited zombie cult classic film. Now, these movies were really good. 28 Days Later, and then like these movies are fucking great. You know what I'm saying? And 28 Days Later, then 28 Weeks Later, super great movies. And then we were always expecting the 28 Months Later. Now, he even talked about it a while ago to IGN. I remember him saying, oh, and this was in like the early 2000s, like when he was talking about this shit. And he's like, yeah, man, I got some ideas for 28 Weeks Later, and I want to make sure that I can expand the franchise, so I don't want to go straight into 28 months later. Sorry. And he was like, I don't want to go too quickly into it because I want to make sure that I can. He didn't say milk this franchise, but he wanted to make sure that he can do a sequel after that, right? So he wanted to do 28 months later and then 28 years later. All right. Now, fast forward 2023. They were talking with him, and he said, yeah, forget that 28 weeks idea. I'm just going to go 28 months idea. Sorry. Forget the 28 months idea. I'm just going to go ahead and do 28 years. And the reasoning for that is because he says, and I quote, I resisted making a sequel for a long time because there were things about 28 weeks that bugged me. Garland admits, I just thought, fuck that. I'd rather try to write a different story in a different world. So 28 years later, it allows him to kind of like not go continue the story after the by you. If you do months, 28 months later, you have to technically continue the story from days and weeks, right? He didn't like some aspects of weeks later. So what he's saying is like, when he was trying to make 28 months later, he just didn't like it. It's as simple as that. He didn't like it. He wanted to kind of go in a different approach, and 28 years later allows him to do that, right? So this could possibly be maybe following the kids of the main characters. You know, this could kind of go different directions. Now, are people going to be happy about that? Obviously not, because they probably want to see how these characters what happens after 28 weeks later, right? They want to see what's going on with these characters, so on and so forth. So people might not be too happy about that, but at the same time, this is a great zombie franchise, and this is a super underrated zombie franchise, I might add. So I'm hyped about this regardless. And the fact that we have the original team, the original writers involved, I am all on board for that. Now, if it was somebody else that wasn't involved in the movie and they just picked it up and just was like, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and run with this, then I might be kind of terrified for my life. But the fact that we got the original team working on it, I have nothing but high expectations for this movie. So the next movie is not going to be 28 months later. It's going to be 28 years later. And the reason why is because he wants to tell a different story. So it's either going to involve brand new characters or it's going to be involving somebody within the generation of the last characters. So maybe it's their kids or some shit like that. We don't know. But I'm kind of excited to see this. I want to see if this actually comes into fruition because, again, the last time we talked about this, 28 months later was rumored, it was talked about, and then it just kind of faded into the abyss. You know what I'm saying? So let's see if this movie actually comes into fruition. 28 years later is going to be the new one. So keep an eye out for that. All right. So if I hear anything, I'll let you guys know. But I just wanted to bring that guys to you just to start the discussion. What do you guys think? Do you guys think 28 years later has potential? Do you guys agree that he should have scrapped the other idea? Or do you think he should have just picked up from where he left off because you kind of wanted to see this how the story ended with these characters that we were following? Let me know in the comment section down below. You are now exiting the Cinema Chop Shop. Hope you guys had a magnificent day. Adios, homies.